I lost almost $1 million. And I would do it again right this second if I had to, although thankfully, I don't. As you know, we're all about learning from my mistakes on this channel, and this is certainly one of them. So here's the story of how I lost almost $1 million and why I'd do it again. We as entrepreneurs, when we start our business, we are the CEO, the chief everything officer. And if I look back to where my business was and where it is today, my business today is unrecognizable from how it started. I have built out my value ladder and my offers so many times, they've evolved so many times, and so have I. I remember I was overworking, burning out. I was constantly hitting this revenue ceiling, like I just couldn't get past it without something being sacrificed, whether that was my quality of life or quality of work. And now looking back, I see how there were some belief systems that I had to overcome. I believed that to make more money, I had to work harder and put in more money. I was trading hours for dollars, thinking if I just, work longer, work harder, then I'd be able to make more money. But you only have so many hours in the day. At this time, we had a high ticket service, but with a service, you also have lower profit margins because there's expenses to fulfill. You have a team, you have softwares. Also being high ticket, people would come to us wanting our service, but not being able to afford it, not being in their price range. So I wanted to be able to learn how I could create other offers that were more affordable and scalable, can reach a wider audience. And to do this, I hired coaches. I studied the perfect webinar formula. I hired more contractors on my team to build this. I ran Facebook ads, and I started running webinars. Russell Brunson talks about webinars all the time. I'm used to being on camera. I film lots of videos. I thought, just doing a webinar should be no big deal. But there was a huge difference from filming YouTube videos and performing, selling to a live audience, knowing that I'm trying to give them value and break their false beliefs and show them a new opportunity. While also in the back of my mind, there's this pressure because my team and I, we've put our blood, sweat, and tears and a lot of money into this, desperate to make it work. So in my first webinar, I remember just vibrating, so nervous, anxiety through the roof. I'm feeling nauseous, but I'm just determined. I know that this offer is amazing. This is my baby. Everyone looks at their business and it's their baby. It's beautiful, it's perfect, it's amazing. But the market doesn't care how much I love it. They have to love it too. It's my job to learn how to market it so that they believe in it as much as I do. So the first webinar ends, nothing. No sales, no applications, nothing. And I think, okay, you know what? It was our first time. You shouldn't expect overnight success. Russell Brunson talks about doing webinars every week until you get it converting. You just keep going, you tweak it, you learn from it, you move on. Second webinar, also nothing. Third webinar, also nothing. I just remember that pit in my stomach that I'm spending so much money in Facebook ads and on my team. And we have part of the team that's fulfilling for our current clients. And then we have another part of the team who's trying to work on building this and getting this to work. And my cash flow is dwindling. And I was paying my team well. And honestly, I was paying them more than I can afford. But I love these people. I felt like I needed them. Honestly, I was outsourcing my decision-making to them and I was ignorant to my numbers. But I thought one day we'd just hit it. It would all pay off. It'd be worth it. But shortly after that, all of our money was gone. But I believed in my business. I believed in this baby. I believed in my team. And I know my work ethic. And I know that if I can set my mind to anything, I've always pulled through in the past. It's just a matter of time. I just keep learning and keep adjusting and keep going. Well, what I also kept doing was dipping into my line of credit to keep this whole thing afloat. But at some point I was running out of room to breathe. I was about to lose everything. Our attempts didn't work on the first try, the second try, the third try, or the 17th try. So I remember one night when I was just consumed by anxiety, I sent a message to my mentor and friend, Alex Sharfin, who, please go binge listen to his podcast, the Momentum Podcast. It is incredible. You'd feel like this man has known you your entire life. He knows all the struggles of entrepreneurship and can help you to overcome them. So he was the person that I went to when I was struggling. And something that Alex teaches is about knowing your CEO metrics and your revenue and your expenses. Well, in my mind, I justified the debt that I was going into, that I was just investing in myself. One day it was all going to pay off. This is me paying tuition to learn this stuff. I didn't go to business school or get a business degree. Some people will go into school and come out with school loans. But every month that this didn't work, I was going into the hole $10,000 to $20,000 a month. Now keep in mind, we still had revenue, and depending on new clients, maybe we would bring in from all of 2018 to mid 2019, we were always between like $40,000 to $80,000 a month. And it would fluctuate depending on if we got a new client or if some clients would pay in full. One month we had 2 new clients pay in full on top of our monthly revenue, and we got $140,000 in that month. But back to the story, I was bleeding, I was drowning, everything was on fire. And I finally admitted, I can't do this much longer. I am about to lose everything. So I call Alex Sharfin, and bless him, he got on the phone with me. We talked for hours and it was painful, but he showed me what I needed to do. The first thing, it was like triage. Like I just needed to stop the bleed. I had 3 team members that I was paying a lot of money to, and it was more than what I could afford and more than what I really should have agreed to, knowing the reality of my numbers. But I believed in them. I loved them. My team is like my family, but I couldn't afford it. And if I let go of those 3 team members, my revenue and expenses would immediately be right side up. That was the hardest part, especially trying to keep a strong face while on the inside I am just dying. Like I love these people. I've visited their homes. I've had dinners with them. I've played with their kids. I had relationships with them, and I had to tell them that I couldn't pay them anymore. And then I also had to go back to my team and tell them why I had to let these 3 go and what the plan was moving forward. And I was worried that some other team members might go, well, this is unstable, I'm out. And thank God they believed in me, they believed in the direction of our business, and they stayed. They stayed in the trenches with me, and their loyalty really encouraged me and gave me hope. So I still had stress and anxiety because now I'd continue with a leaner team, but now a profit margin, so that at least I could breathe again. Kind of. I had to take on all the sales by myself, which I was not good at. And I remember spending so much of my daytime, like 9 to 5, doing sales calls, and then in the evening, fulfilling the rest of the existing client work, like working on the business and in the business, working long, exhausting days to the point where I am just in tears, frustrated, grinding it out, trying to make it work. And I want to break down for you exactly what I learned from this experience. But first, have you subscribed to this channel? I want to give you all of the latest strategies for marketing and growing your business. And the easiest way to stay in the know is to subscribe to my channel. So hit that red button below before we move on. So here's where 2 amazing things happened. This was my fork in the road here. I was frustrated and I was hitting a wall, so I had to find a way. So number 1, although I was exhausted, I was seeing things in my business that I hadn't before. I was on the phone speaking directly with my target audience. I was hearing the exact language they were speaking, hearing the exact pain points they had, hearing what they needed, which helped me to evolve my language now. And then I could communicate with them so much better because I was starting to understand them better. And number 2, I was not doing well with the sales. I still wasn't converting well. And now looking back, I see where my offer was wrong, my messaging was off, and my sales pitch was like verbal vomiting. So I reached out to friends for support. I'm in Russell Brunson's inner circle. I presented my issue. I got lots of feedback of how I needed to reposition it. I remember getting on calls with friends, getting them to help me, and they gave me great advice and showed me what they were doing that was working. Sean Malone and Chris Baden, my heroes, came in to save the day. They teach sales, they build sales teams, and they are incredible beasts in sales. And as friends, they got on calls with me. They told me about some great sales books to buy, and they lovingly, kindly tore apart my sales pitch and looked at my offer and looked at, the client, the demographic. And they were like, this is easy. We can help you. But we both knew that I couldn't afford to join their program. But something that I've asked myself when I have that thought of I can't afford to, I ask myself, can I afford not to? So what happened next, Chris and Sean, who are just good people. They love me, they believe in me. They did another strategy call with me. And I had a pitch coming up that I knew if I got this one right, it would just save everything. So we did an intensive all about that. I had fear around what to charge or how to pitch it or what to say, how to follow up. They gave me the whole plan and the confidence and the permission. I got on that sales call and I sold a $15,000 package, paid in full, up front. 3 amazing things happened here. Number 1, oh my God, it worked. Money in the bank. Number 2, they helped me make money before I ever paid them. So this gave me the money now to be able to join their program. And number 3, this offer, a few months later, I repackaged and pitched and landed Damon John from Shark Tank as a client. This was the beginning of me learning how to sell better in my business, how to create the offers based on what my audience really wanted and needed. So it was in April of 2019 that I had to let go of those 3 employees and stop the bleed in my business and rebuild. And thanks to Alex Sharfin and Sean Malone and Chris Baden, I don't know what I would have done without them. So the rest of April and May, I hustled learning how to sell. By July, we had our first $100,000 month with $40,000 of that being profit. August, we had a $140,000 month again with profit. And it might sound backwards to say this, but I am so grateful for that experience. And for so many things that might seem negative in life. You know, people might say, I can't believe you got divorced. Listen, I am grateful for that relationship, and it's painful how it ended, but I'm also grateful that I have a second shot at a better relationship and learn from it so I can be a better partner. And now in my relationship, I'm happier because I know myself better. But you gotta sit through the rain to see the rainbow, and you gotta do the work to get the result. And I've done a ton of therapy, and I'm proud of that. Now, this is gonna sound weird, but I'm kind of glad for my experience that I had earning my first $1 million, because even though it wasn't really profitable, it made me see where I needed to learn. It was an opportunity for me to learn my numbers better. So now, because it was so painful, look how much more capable I am of earning profit now. If you don't take the time to learn, to crack that code, your weaknesses won't turn into strengths. And for the people that do have that goal of earning $1 million and getting that 2 Comma Club award, here's how I've looked at it and would love to encourage you to do the same. Look at it as encouragement rather than reward. One of the things that they ask you on the 2 Comma Club award application is that if you've earned this with 40 or more transactions. Why do you think they do that? My belief, and the belief that I operate from, is that the transformation is in the transaction. So it means that you've made an impact. You're entering people's homes and hearts and minds and businesses. My goal was never to hit $1 million, cross the finish line, and never play the game again. You hit the target, you move the target further, and you go at it again at a different speed with new resources. When you make a profit, you can reinvest that to build your team, build your movement, and make a bigger impact and reach more people. For me, that reinvestment was to learn new strategies, to make my business more impactful and scalable, and it didn't work for the first several months. And after some time, I made the decision to dip into my line of credit to keep running my business. I went into debt over it. That's a lesson learned. I didn't go to business school and get a degree in this, and a lot of us didn't. It's not required in the online space. But I considered this the tuition I paid to learn how to build a business and make it profitable and then overcome the debt. It takes serious commitment to earn $1 million in revenue, regardless of how much that is in profit. You know, sitting around talking about your plans of launching a business or whatever to get to your first $10,000, $100,000, and $1 million in revenue, you are putting yourself on the line. You are risking everything you have. You're working your butt off for it. It's not always profit at the beginning. That's what happens in the first few months, years even. That's what happens with a startup. And that's why earning $1 million, getting a 2 Comma Club award, is so exciting for anyone who ever earns it. So here's what I learned. Mistakes are tuition. And although I wish that I didn't have to pay or lose that much money, I learned the lesson that was worth it. I learned how to sell, how to get myself out of debt, how to make $1 million after I lost so much money. So I still see that as a win. And I hope that everyone listening to this can learn from my mistakes, because the best way to learn is by experience. But if you can skip a few years by learning from mine, I hope you do. I want you to be able to learn from these mistakes and learn the exact system you need to make consistent monthly cash flow that you can count on. And if that sounds good to you, I'd love to actually give you access to my highest performing, most revenue generating campaigns that you can plug and play into your business to maximize lead generation and sales. So if you click the link in the video description below, join us for our Hello to High Ticket training. I couldn't get past $10,000 a month without something. No, that's further back. I was overworking, burning out. I was hitting a ceiling. I couldn't get past this revenue. So at some point I was like running out of room to bleed. I was not doing well with the sales. I was still, my offers was off. My messaging was off. All my I want you to be able to learn from these mistakes and learn the exact system that you need to make